Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this session on education in Morocco, entitled The Moroccan Experience, Education Improvement and Human Development. We're going to hear this morning from 5 speakers, each with a uniquely privileged insight into the place of education in Morocco's development. No one here has any doubt that the delivery of effective education is at the heart of the development process. And no one doubts the intense commitment of Morocco's government, led with personal commitment in this matter by His Majesty King Mohammed VI. But equally, no one is in any doubt as to the scale of the challenge that faces them. You're going to hear Dr. Abdelhafez Dabar, Secretary General of Higher Education at the Ministry of Education, speaking about the challenges in higher education. Jeffrey Waite, who heads the World Bank's Human Development Programme in the Maghreb, will speak about the reform process and the extraordinarily ambitious emergency plan that's currently being implemented. Dr. Rashid Ben Mokhtar, former Minister of Education and head of the National Observatory for Human Development, will evaluate the interventions of the government of Morocco in the whole process of education-centred development. And Mr. Naufal Fassi Fihri, the Director of the Centre for Education for Employment and a long-time thinker about employability, will speak about employability and the responsibilities and needs of the education sector in that regard. And finally, Ms. Elham Laziz, Director of the Génie Programme at the Ministry of Education, will speak about IT in education. I'll introduce each speaker properly before their interventions, but may I just say that before we begin, as Director of the British Council in Morocco, I'm honoured to be in the chair of this session. It's a very welcome recognition of the British Council's commitment to supporting the government of Morocco in the profound and far-reaching reforms in which it's now engaged. Education is at the centre of the British Council's work in Morocco, whether we're speaking of school level or national education, where we work with more than 60 schools and regional academies across the country in our Connecting Classrooms programme, and work in teacher training, social entrepreneurship projects for pupils, curriculum, quality assurance and career guidance. Or on the other hand, in higher education, where we're working closely with higher education institutions and the Ministry on governance, quality assurance and academic links. Everything we do here in education is carefully and explicitly linked to the emergency plan through one of its projects. I therefore have no hesitation at all in expressing my admiration for the ambition, the courage and the tenacity of those leading this very challenging campaign of reform, and my confidence in its success. I'd like to begin by introducing our first speaker, Dr. Abdelhafez Dabar, who has a long and distinguished career in education and in the management of his country's educational system. Starting with doctorates from the University of Minnesota and the Institute of Agronomy and Veterinary Science, he served as Director of the National School of Agriculture, as Director of Executive Training at the Department of Higher Education, Executive Education and Scientific Research, going on to be Secretary General of National Education before taking up his present post as Secretary General of Higher Education. Dr. Dabar.